Morning, Madam Chair.
11957, no, 2987, SOR 8417. So please take your names.
Name for the record, Daphne, Y-A-K-H-N-I, initial B, paralegal, representative for the landlord.
John Serino, the landlord.
Marie Ball, tenant.
Paul Peter Bosch. Name I normally go by my middle name, so if you hear someone refer to Paul or Peter,
Paul Peter Bosch. So this is the landlord's application. We will hear that from the landlord first. And then save your questions and comments to after you hear the landlord's evidence, okay? So based on, is it 1 and 5, Ms. Daphne?
No, Madam
Oh,
Chair,
okay.
the first N5 was voided within the voided period. And then there was additional issue that arose later that resulted in a second N5. And the L2 is a result of that second N5 that was given.
All right, let's hear first the first N5 and the voiding, evidence of the voiding. I don't seem to have a copy of the second N5. Let's see. First N5, is that dated with the termination date of July 20? Correct?
The first N5 termination date is June 15.
I don't have that. I have July 20 termination date. Served on June 22nd. And it says you have 7 days to stop. So sounds like a first N5.
Madam Chair, if I may cook.
Yes.
All right.
So this is the first N5.
Let's grab a chair.
I don't have this is what I have. It's not even the same. Suite 509. Why does it say Alfaro? It's a 1
Do you have that?
I have it.
You have it? Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. So,
Oh, can you just check?
Have you already heard that one?
I have. Yes. Mr. Chafe, we've already dealt with the matter.
I'm on medication that for pain that I'm going through, and I slept in on him.
Okay. Mr. Carson, would you speak to him? You dealt with
I'm
it?
deaf, I can't hear you.
Okay. We already dealt with the matter. Your landlord and a witness was here, or they were here. And because you weren't here, I dismissed the application. This is Mr. Carson. Would you please speak to him with
Well, you
regard
can't
to
just throw it out
his...
like that. I mean, I'm on medication for the,
Can you keep that or you want to keep it?
I'm the duty counsel lawyer here. The tribunal member is asking that you speak with me. I can give you a little bit of advice about what you'll need to do next.
okay, thank you very much.
All right. So, I will hear from the landlord first. So, on the first N5.
Well, I'm on medication.
so Mr. Solino, you had served the tenant with the N5, and this was served on the 25th of May with a termination date of June 15. And this was for reason 1, and you give the tenant 7 days to correct that behavior before this notice. And on the second page, detail of the event that give rise to this N5. And the first one, February 24, 25th. And if you could just read us what is there.
Okay, videotaping and taking pictures of the tenants' units against their wishes, smoking marijuana in the building which is making the tenants ill.
And on April 6th.
April 6th, interfering with the landlord's agent, Richard Paulington, ability to fulfill his duties, police report attached. And May the 10th, interfering with the landlord's ability to do repairs to the unit, denying access to the landlord, being argumentative with the landlord and his agent while they were working, and continuing to videotape the landlord against his wishes while he was up on a ladder measuring windows. The behavior was not only an interference but created an unsafe situation for the landlord.
And after serving this notice on the tenant on May 25th, did that behavior continue or did it stop?
It's the first time.
And fire.
Yeah, it stopped that, for that week or time. It stopped for a little while.
Madam Chair, you have any question?
How was the interference with the ability to fulfill duties? What was that about?
Not allowing me into the unit to do the work, not allowing me into the unit. I have a property standards order which says I had to replace the windows that were cracked. So that means I had to go into the unit in each room to look at the cracked windows, measure the windows, so I could order the windows prior to doing the job. They denied me access into the unit. They harassed me the minute I got to the door. When I asked them, I got to the door, they asked me, why am I going to the unit? I said, to do the property standard work orders, which they knew that that's what I was there for. But they continuously harassed me. They asked me leading questions to try to get me to say something pertaining to their case to help them out with not letting me into the unit. I just told them that I was there to do my repairs, I want to do my repairs, and I want to leave. I'm trying to fulfill the order.
Just for clarity, Madam Chair, the application or the other case that my client is referring to, there's a tenant application before the board that's noted in our L2 that's scheduled for hearing on September 25th.
Okay.
It's a T2 application.
Okay. All right. So after you served it, and the smoking marijuana,
Yes.
did that as well, and that's based on this letter of the tenant.
At the time that I went up to the unit, my caretaker and also tenant there, Richard, accompanied me, Richard Paulington,
Yeah.
and he is my witness to the events that happened.
Yes.
Because I never go alone because it's going to be a word with a tenant against me as a dispute, so I always take somebody with me.
Okay.
Okay? That's just the way I handle it.
And so then, following the service of this on May 24, within the next week after that, the next 7 days,
Yeah.
what further events, if any, happened?
It was pretty quiet. Nothing really happened for a week. Nothing, They weren't letting me into the unit, so I had other duties to do, so I did my other work at my other buildings, my other places, right? And they pretty well were quiet for that week,
So, Mr. Sereno, we'll talk about the second N5 that you had need to serve. This was served on the tenant on the 20th of July, 2017, and with the termination date of August 3rd, 2017. And attached to that, a Schedule A details the event that gave rise to this N5. And I would ask you about the June 25th.
Yes.
That incident that involves yourself.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you want me to explain?
Yeah, sure. If you
Okay.
could tell.
On June 25th, at 9:30 a.m., we went to work on the unit, right? The tenant argued, as soon as he opens the door, he's got a video camera there at me, right? And he's arguing that I didn't give him the proper 24-hour notice. The notice was given the day before. It was more than 24 hours, okay? He tried to set the rules on the windows which I could install.
Mr. Serena, is this the notice that you're referring to?
24 notice, yeah, for the 20, yeah, yeah.
Madam Chair, my friend has a copy of this. First notice, latest of 25th. Madam Chair.
So, he's trying to tell me which windows I can, which rooms I can go into and which ones I can't to do my work. I need to measure all the cracked windows so that I can order them all at the same time so that they can be repaired. You know, it's common sense. You're not going to order one window and then come back tomorrow and do another window and then come back to door. You order them all, you measure them all, and you do one order. They were trying to set the rules to me going, oh, you can only come in this room. And I want at least 2 hours notice before you can come in the other room. And I turned to them and said, as I'm finishing the work in one room, I will tell you that I'm going to go to I'll give you some notice that I'll come in to appease them. But that wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough. So they wouldn't let me do my work, so I had to leave, right?
And how many windows were there in the unit that you had to address?
All the windows, okay, there was 1, 2, how many altogether? This is my brother.
There was 2 in one bedroom, 1 in the other bedroom, 1 in the living room, and I think there was 1 in the bathroom. If I'm not mistaken.
Was there one in the kitchen?
The one in the kitchen, I think we had to do the storms. That was later.
Okay. So there's approximately 5 windows, approximately. Give or take 1. Okay? So I had to do all the measurements. I'm better with measuring than my brother is. And not only that, but when you're working with windows, we're on a ladder, and I have to be there to hold the ladder. He has to hold the ladder for me. It's a safe working environment. We have to maintain that. Okay? All the way through this, Mr. Bosch is standing directly behind me with the camera. Every time I turn around, I'm bumping into him. I said, can you please stand back and stay out of my way so I can do my work? He does not listen or respond to any request I've made. My only intent is to do the work and leave. I'm a landlord. They pay their rent. You should receive what you ask for. They're denying me access to do my work. They're denying me access to do my work. There was a few instances where they asked me to leave. I left. I have no alternative. I have to leave. You asked me to leave, I'm going to leave. Right? If you come to as an analogy, if you came to my car garage and I said there's a problem with my engine, and I tell you you can't open the hood, how are you going to fix my engine? This is what I'm going through. I've been in business for over 40 years. Never had ever an issue with a tenant where I was denied access to do repairs. Ever.
Okay, so Mr. Serena, let's talk about the repair. These are repair that was requested as per a work order as stated in your notice.
Property standards, yes.
And you had committed to completing that work order in a timely fashion and definitely in the time frame that the city has stipulated.
Absolutely.
Correctly. And this order was as a result of complaint made by the tenant for work to be done, correct? At no time did you avoid doing those work. You were committed to get fulfilling.
Never did I not, only until the tenant asked me to leave. I have never ever talked to the tenant personally. I don't even deal with these people. The rent is paid to Mr. Paulington, who's my caretaker and also my tenant in the building down below, right? And he made an issue even about collecting the rent. You know, he tries to set the rules and stipulations, and he'll create the scenario around that. Okay, he's telling Mr. Paulington, I don't want you around collecting it. He's been there for over a year paying the rent to him.
Okay, Mr. Sereno, the day of June 25th,
Yes.
who was there with you for the repair?
My brother was there, and who else was there? Just me and you. And I think Richard was around the building too. He was in and out.
Okay. And the notice say that you needed access for the 25th, the 26th, and the 27th, correct?
Yes.
So anything else happened on the 25th that you wanted to
Okay, trying to set the rules about where I could work, okay? After he's already been handed a notice, okay? He tried to call me on the phone. My phone was on the charge, I didn't get to the phone. Then he called my brother here, he has his number. And to my brother, he said, tell that effing asshole to pick up the phone when I call. My brother corresponded this to me. Okay? And Mr. Bosch, we've already had a problem with him calling me on the phone on a blocked number and hanging up. So I've had this problem before. So this is when I hired Vinny. And I told all my correspondence, whatever correspondence, send it to Vinny. This way I don't have to maintain with you, bother me on the phone. You know, I can't prove it. So don't call me. He still calls me. Even after I made a request in writing not to call me, he still calls me. He does not listen. He's trying to set the rules so that I do not finish and do my work as I'm trying to do.
Mr. Cyrano, with him, for the tenant, you requested the tenant not to contact you. Was that as a result of you not being able to communicate, or you felt that it would be a better situation for communication to flow through another party? Was that based on your interaction, or did any argument that might arise dealing with the tenant, was that something you were trying to avoid?
He just kept giving me letters to my caretaker every week, 1 or 2 letters corresponding to work that needs to be done, what he wished, right? He goes to me, he says to me, well, you're not even reading my letters. You're not even looking, I'm sorry, but I read everything, I look at everything. So that's when I got Vinny, again, correspond, any type of correspondence, please deal directly with Vinny, so that, you know, I'm not lying, I'm telling you this is where I wanted to go. So now I can't deny not receiving it, can I? I've received it because it's going to her.
Okay, so let's, one other question, the 25th. You claimed there was some argument, there was screaming, and could you tell the board what that was about?
Yeah, the argument was about going into the unit doing the work.
Who was arguing or who was screaming?
I eventually did raise my voice because I'm trying to get in to do my work. When we knocked on the door, my brother was there, I asked, can I please come in to do my work? They would automatically try to harass me or turn it around so that they would ask me questions. What are you here for? I'm here because of the property standards work order. You have a copy of the order. I'm here to do my work.
Was the tenant also responding in kind by arguing or?
They were totally aggressive with me, totally non-compliant with me, for no reason. I've never ever
What
done.
date was this?
We were at the 25th.
On the 25th, okay? On the
On the 26th, so that was my last question on the 25th, unless you have something you wanted to add on the 25th?
Okay, what were the verbal threats?
There were no verbal threats. They're just denying me and harassing me from coming in. If I'm telling you I need something done, and I'm here, I've planned my day to do my work here. I have my workers with me, and you're denying me access to do what you want done. You understand where I'm coming from?
So were you able to enter on June 25th?
On June 25th, I don't think I got it. I don't remember if I did or didn't. About 24, I tried to set the rules. I don't think they let me in on the 25th. I don't remember exactly because there's so many of these instances that happen. But
Well, you stated earlier with the recording that he was recording, so you
Yes.
had some type of...
yeah, they would have it on the recording whether I got in or not. The thing is, I'm just there trying to do my work. That's all I'm trying to do. Okay?
Did any of the tenants at any time, whilst communicating with you, speaking with you, did any of them raise their voice that you felt was harassing or
Yeah, they were raising,
argumentative with
they,
you?
they were argumentative the minute I got to the door.
Who?
It was
which of-
either Marie or Paul, either one answered the door. One would correspond for a while, then one would interrupt the other while I'm speaking to one, and I try to speak to one person at a time.
And this on the
Yeah.
25th, was that what happened? Both of the tenant was
The
present?
25th, yeah, was talking.
Okay, so let's talk about the 26th. You claim that that's when you were working on the window, on the premises of the unit,
Yeah. Okay.
and that both of them start harassing you. Could you tell the board
Okay.
what was that about?
Okay, okay, harass me at the door as apartment, I can't do I can't do, or not do, argue that the notice was insufficient time again. Made the
So when
same-
you approached the door on the 26th?
Yeah, he made this allegation again. He stalled me for probably half an hour before we finally got to a point where we could do something, okay? Okay, that day I did work. I wasn't even in the unit. I was outside on the ladder. You know, outside the house, I got a 20-foot ladder and I'm doing the windows. I got my brother in, they're letting my brother in and not bothering him. They're trying to play the good guy, bad guy, is what they're trying to do between me and my brother. Anyways, they let my brother in without any hassle. So you know what, it doesn't matter, as long as I got somebody on the inside while I'm on the ladder, I can work, right? So I was on the ladder. While I'm on the ladder, Paul's holding the video camera in my face, out from inside the unit, right? Making smart faces, remarks at me, you know, just trying to create, you know, distraction, trying to distract me as I'm doing my work, right?
What words was he saying?
Not with words, it's just making faces, you know, just not, just harassing. I'm trying to do my work, and I got a guy there with us go, you know, making, just
So you were on the ladder?
outside.
Okay, and where was Paul?
Paul was inside the unit with the camera facing me on the ladder,
And what, could you give an approximate distance that?
maybe 5 feet.
So you could hear what he was saying?
Well, he didn't say anything. I didn't hear anything, but he's just making faces and, you know, blowing kisses, just making stupidity stuff, you know?
Did you tell him to
Yeah.
stop that? It was creative?
No, I just continued to work, because my fear was, this is my fear. If I say something, he's going to deny me able to work. I don't want to stop the work I have to do. I have a timeline with property standards. It has to be done by a certain time. So I'm ignoring it, trying to get done. Even though it's bothering me, I'm trying to get my work done. You know, I'm trying to work around the stupidity, just get it done. I'm not here to not work, I'm here to work. That's why I showed up at your door.
Okay, with regard to the recording,
Yes.
you stated that you felt that was interfering or
Yes.
harassing. Could you talk to the board about that?
Because he's standing there, I guess, as I'm on the ladder and I'm moving around, I see something move in the corner of my eye, which shouldn't even be there. You know, I'm trying to do my work, measure something, and something's moving. Then I look and he's making smart remarks and facial expressions. And I'm sitting there going, I'm trying to ignore him as I'm doing my work. I'm just trying to ignore the process as I'm doing my work.
So you were on the ladder on the outside. How high would that be up from ground?
Approximately 20, well, there's 5 feet there, there are 11-foot ceilings, I'd say about 16 feet.
And that, with that distraction, that would have created...
If I fell from that ladder, I wouldn't be here right now. Okay? If I fell from that ladder, I wouldn't be here. I'm also diabetic. I got to watch my sugars and the stress levels. My sugars have been out of whack. I went to see my doctor. My sugars have been under control for the last 15 years. They've been perfect. Just in the last, since this issue started, my sugars are starting to go out of control. He's asking me what, and I'm telling him the stress I'm getting from my tenants.
Okay, with regard to the recording, you've mentioned to the tenant, you've asked them, you've sent written requests. Have you done that more than one occasion? To stop
Absolutely.
recording, you felt that was
Absolutely.
interfering?
I even wrote it in the 24-hour notice. It's written in the 24-hour notice. You know, please do not record or videotape, you know, so we can do as work as you know, as expedient as we can.
It's not in here.
Not in that one, but it's in the other notices. I wrote more than one. I wrote notices 5 or 6 times to go into their units because
Yeah,
they keep
but
designing.
there would be a follow-up.
Okay.
Okay?
So when on that date, June 26th, did you say, please stop, this is distracting me?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right? I made it mention to him even before that date to stop. I told him, I don't mind them videotaping when I'm done the job. I've done the work, you want to videotape the work and how it's been done, I have no problem with that. You want to videotape the job before it's been done, I have no problem with that. But to stand beside me with a camera over my shoulder, there was a couple episodes where I picked up a window and I turned around and I almost bumped into him. Out of Paul's mouth it comes out, "Excuse me, Mr. Sereno." I said, "Can you please get out of my way?" Again, I'm picking up a window and he's right there, right behind me, over my shoulder. Okay? He's going out of his way for me not to do the work, to make me look bad, is exactly what's happening here. He stole the order for me to go in to do my work, right? The following week, I gave the exact same order, because I copy and paste. I'm not that great with computers, but I copy and pasted, and I just changed the dates. With that order, he let me in. The reason why is because it was past the timeline for the due date for the work to be done.
Oh, you mean the notice?
The notice from the property standards.
No. The notice you reserved it?
I reserved another notice for the following week. The week that he didn't let me in, I have another order from property standards for work down below.
Mr. Sereno is talking about prior notice that he had given, that he was refused access, and then as per the work order. And
But
he-
that's not the main...
No, that's not the issue. He's just...
I'm going ahead of myself.
Okay,
Okay?
yeah.
So the June 27th, if we may address that, Mr. Sereno, that's, again, you were working on the ladder, and you claimed that there was an
Yeah.
incident with the screen window
Yeah.
being pulled out.
I was working on the bay window by the side of the driveway, on unit number 2. And what I was doing was I was putting flashing, aluminum flashing over the wood, because
Were you on the inside or the outside?
I'm on the outside.
And I do apologize for interrupting, I just wanted to...
Not a problem.
So you were on the outside on the ladder,
Yes.
and that's again 15 to 20 feet.
It was, yeah, and it's a cement down below. If I fall, I'll land on cement.
Okay.
Anyways, I'm in the driveway with the ladder, and what I was doing, which is not part of the order, like I was doing extra work, I was putting aluminum flashing around the wood. Some of the wood needed that, and I said, while I'm here, I might as well do it all, because once you're there, and you start to do the measurements, you might as well do all the windows. So I was putting aluminum flashings this way here, it protects the wood for a longer period of time. I never have to worry about rotting problems. I'm doing the job above and beyond the order, okay? So I'm doing all the flashing. Paul had a screen in the window, plastic screen. I get, to let air in, there was a screen there. For me to measure the ledge of the sill of the window, the screen was this way. I opened the wooden window from the ladder, and I turned the screen sideways this way. I turned it so it's like this. Now I can measure the sill to do my bends for my aluminum, right? So I'm up there with the measuring tape, with the pencil, with a pen writing. Most of the times I'm working on my own balance with no hands, just because that's the way you have to do this work.
So you're using both of your
I'm
hands.
using both my hands. Uncalled for, without notice, Paul ran over to the window and yanked the screen out. The wooden window fell. I still have the mark here from where it hit me, right?
Madam
Okay.
Chair, if I may just, is that the picture?
That's the picture there. You can see that it's moved
And
down.
I think you have.
And he gave me one as well.
And this was taken a few weeks after Mr. Sereno visited my office.
I don't heal well because I'm diabetic, so that's how far it's moved down. It's still there, the mark, but it's moved down, right? Anyways, I didn't feel it. I yelled and screamed. I felt something, but I looked at my fingers. They looked okay, right? It was later I saw the bruise. When I came down, it was starting, you just feel it a little bit later because when you're diabetic, you've got extremities in your fingers. You don't feel like like you should. I can poke myself with a needle and not feel it because of the diabetes. But anyways, I screamed and yelled when it hit my finger. I said some cuss words because I was really pissed, right? And I went down the ladder. My brother was watching this wasn't happening because he was down below on the ladder.
You fell?
No, I didn't fall.
Uh-huh.
But it could have made me fall. I yanked my hand out. I'm back on the ladder. I could have fallen. Yeah. And I'm here to help you. I'm here to do your work. I'm here to bring this property up to standards that you're requesting. and you're doing nothing but hindering me from doing my work. That's the only thought in their mind. The only thought in their mind is to make it go past the timeline so that I have to pay the extra fees to ask for, what's it called? An extension? I would have to ask for an extension?
But this, the property
For the property
standard
standard.
deadline, if
Yeah.
you were to go past that, you have to pay
Yeah.
a penalty, a fee for an extension.
On a few instances, I've called the police to report that they weren't letting me in. And you know yourself that it's a 2 or 3 hour wait, waiting for the police to arrive, because it's not an emergency. So I'm trying to do my work. In the interim of doing that work, I did other work that was required on a property, another property standard order, which was down below. I have a timeline for all this work that was done. I can tell you when I came in and when I left. To do the work in their unit, we spent about 4 or 5 hours in one day, and it got hot in the afternoon. I asked my brother, do you want to continue working? He said, oh, we'll do it tomorrow. So the following day, we came in for an hour or so and finished that work order. That was the timeline involved. He stalled it and stalled it and stalled it and stalled it to make me look bad. It really, really angers me because I've been in this business for 42 years. I have never had a tenant deny me. Also, he studied me. I'm telling you the extent that this person goes to.
So, Mr. Sereno, so after you came down from the ladder, did you continue working that day?
Yes, yes. I continued, my fingers was throbbing, but like I said, if I say something or do something, he would ask me, okay, get out of here, you can't work anymore. And rather than do that, let's finish the job. You know, suck it up and we'll finish the job. You know, it's just, what else am I gonna do? I'm not gonna get this job done if I don't suck it up.
So you felt you had no choice?
I have to. He's making me work under duress. He's making me work under constant fear of falling off a ladder. You know?
Okay. Now, on the 28th, you claim that you were given a notice by Richard.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the notice, Mr. Sereno?
Let me read this. 28th. Upstairs, once again, Bosch calling again. Yeah.
Madam Chair, my friend, have a copy of this? Yeah, it should be attached to the documents I gave you.
Yeah,
It was
we gave
attached to
this
the
one.
application. I can give you another copy.
Please. Thank you.
Okay, so, could you read this? Or do you need me to?
Okay. Okay, I'll let you read it. Okay.
So this has two dates. It has May 15th and June 20th, two separate incidents. Is that correct?
Yep.
When was this given to you? Was this given to you June 28th or?
Either the 20th or the day before. I don't remember when it was given to me exactly.
Okay.
June 20th, Wednesday, went to finish work. Okay, it's the same slander as the previous day. Okay.
And here, okay, I'll read it for you. As I was helping sorry, Mr.
As I was helping, I don't know what his,
Agostino,
okay,
sorry.
that's AG.
Up the stair. That's your brother, right?
Yes.
Up the stairs in apartment 2,
Yeah.
99 East Avenue. Once again, Paul Rush called me a douchebag and told me to get a lawyer. So, was this a complaint that your tenant
Yes.
he made?
Richard made this to me, this complaint. I also went up one instance where I went up, I'm gonna get ahead of myself again. And I got it written down on one of the days, but I went there again to knock on the door to ask to come in to do the work. As soon as he opened the door, it's just a douchebag landlord, so I joined the same club as him. I became part of
So
that club.
I believe
Okay.
you're referring, there was another notice of entry for July 18.
Yes, okay.
I will just.
And
Madam
he's
Chair,
constantly making these derogatory remarks
I think you have this.
against me.
Madam Chair, this is the notice Mr. Sereno is referring to. Take a moment, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, if I could proceed. So this was a notice that was given dated July 16 for entry to July 18. And that's the other incident that you're claiming that you were working on the premise and he refused you access
Can you say it again? On
July 18.
July 18th.
So this notice was pertaining to repair to the flooring, I believe?
Yeah, let me see.
Okay.
The notice is dated Sunday, July 16th. This is 24-hour notice. The unit Tuesday will do work to be required to repair the issues on property standard work order, as well as other work that is needed to be addressed in the unit. We'll be working in the kitchen and in the bedroom at the front of the house closest to the driveway, which is Marie's bedroom, I think. It's to the front of the house. And we will be starting at 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. Okay, we will also be there on Wednesday, July 19th, Thursday, July 20th, and Friday, July 21st, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Do not talk to me or my workers or interfere with our work so that we can be done in a timely fashion. Videoing and recording will also be reviewed as harassment and will not be allowed. Okay? Right? And like I said, I've mentioned it to him before. This time I put it in writing because he's obviously not adhering. The minute we come to the unit, he videotaped. The minute we come in, you know, he's trying to I knock on the door, and he always approaches the door with some type of question to try and throw me off to answer to something so that he can use it against me later.
Example,
A leading question.
like,
Okay. Which room are you going into first? Okay, I'm going to go into the bedroom. Oh, you can't go into the bedroom. You have to. You can give us proper notice. You can't come in, right? I said, can I come into the kitchen? I'll work in the kitchen then, right? The one day they denied me access.
That's July 18th.
I don't know if that particular day that happened, but one day they denied me access, and they were arguing over which room I could work in. I said, okay, if you don't want me to work in the bedroom, I'll work in the kitchen. Actually, I got the date over here. Okay, where is it? Because there were so many instances of this.
give any- August 10, 2017, Hamilton Hearing Room A. This is a continuation of the hearing regarding SOL 8421817, 99 East Avenue, Unit 2 in Hamilton. So your names again, just for the record.
Yakni, Y-A-K-H-N-I, initial B, paralegal, representative for the landlord.
John Serino.
Paul Peter Bosch, tenant.
Marie Ball, tenant.
Okay. So we shall hear from your witnesses. Would you like to come up here? It's probably better. And your name, madam?
My name is Susan George.
Susan George. And you solemnly affirm that you're going to tell the truth in these proceedings?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Go ahead and ask her your question.
Ms. George, do you have any experience as a superintendent or landlord?
Yes, I do. I'm certified with the Everett Trust.
Okay. So it's safe to say that you have some knowledge of Residential Tenancy Act and how it's
Yes, I
applied?
do.
Okay. Were you at our apartment on June the 26th of this year?
Yes, I was.
Okay. Can you describe the events of that day as you saw and heard them?
We were all sitting on the couches, me, Lana, Catherine, Marie, and you. They knocked on the door. You opened the door. They came in. John turned around and looked at us girls. Nobody said anything. And he went off into the bedroom to do some work.
Okay. A bit later in the day, did you witness an incident where a screen was removed from a window on June 26th?
I did not witness it.
Okay. Did you hear Mr. Serino scream about his finger or any other topic during that day?
No.
Okay. Have you ever noticed the smell of marijuana in the hallway leading into our unit?
No.
Okay. How often have you visited our unit?
Quite often, you babysit my dog.
Okay.
They do, they babysit for me, my dog.
Let me check the notes for the 26th. Okay. No, I guess that's it. Did you have anything for me?
Did we at any time yell, scream, threaten, coerce, or even interfere in the landlord doing his work on the 26th?
No.
Did we do anything? Did we deny him access? Did we cause any problems? Did we even acknowledge his existence on that day?
We did not acknowledge him.
So we did not cause any issues, do
We did not say
anything?
anything to him. We did not do anything to him.
Your witness.
Okay. On June 26th, what time did Mr. Sereno enter the unit?
I think it was around 11.
And who was with him?
Augie,
Anyone else?
I don't know.
Okay. And what did they do when you come into the unit?
They came in to turn and fix the windows. They put plexiglass in them, which is illegal.
Okay, if you could just answer the question. So they came into the window, Augie and John. Where did they go in the unit? Could you tell us?
They went into the back bedroom, to Marie's bedroom. That's where they were working on the windows.
Okay, and they were looking at her window?
Yeah.
Did you see what they were doing?
No, I did not. I did not get off the couch.
Okay, did they, and how long did they stay in the bedroom?
I don't know.
Could you give us an approximate time?
Maybe, I'd say about 20 minutes.
Okay, and did they, after they come out of the bedroom, what else did they do in the unit?
Nothing.
So they left after that?
No. They went they were supposed to go, they went to the other bedroom. They went to the bed, they went and checked the windows and all the the whole apartment.
So they went to Marie's bedroom first?
Yes, and then they went into Pete's, and then they went into the bathroom,
Okay,
and then they went into the kitchen. I don't know if they went into the other bedroom.
and they checked all the windows to the best of your knowledge?
Yeah. To see which ones were broken like this and which ones they had to replace.
And they left after that?
On the 26th? I don't know if they worked on any of them or what, if they put flexi.
Did you witness any interaction, exchange of words between
No,
the tenants?
no words were exchanged. Nobody talked to them.
So when they approached, when they came to the door, did you have a good view of that?
Yeah,
And they asked for entry and that was given?
that was given, because I had to grab my dog and lock my dog down.
And you would say they spent about an hour in their unit?
Yeah, about an hour,
Okay, no.
if not longer. I wasn't estimating the time.
Okay.
It was a long time, I know that, because I sat there for a long time.
No other question?
And this was the 26th.
This is the 26th. There was no interaction between us and the landlord whatsoever.
Well, I talked to John, but
Yes, Miss George, I don't know if she remembers, had to go out for a little while that day, so that's why she doesn't have full recollection and come
Because I
back.
had to come back, I had to leave and come back, but
I had her dog the whole
Okay,
day.
so ask that question. Like,
All right, do you remember having to go out and come back after a little while?
yeah,
And you remember that there was no interaction between us?
nobody talked except for him. He's the only one who talked. Because
which?
oh, Pete talked to him.
Paul. Yes.
And that was while he was at
Paul
the door,
Peter.
correct?
Yes.
And the rest of the time, everybody ignored him, correct?
That's right. Nobody else talked to him. He didn't talk to any of us.
You didn't question-
And when the one thing, wait, hold on. I remember something on the 26th. Excuse me, everybody. He asked a question, okay?
Who say he? Yeah.
John asked a question to Pete, Paul, whatever you want to call him.
Okay.
And Pete turned around and says, no, you should ask that question to Marie. And when Marie went to answer him, he was rude.
Okay, if I could have just a follow-up question, please, Madam Chair?
Yes.
Okay. So you stated they came in around 10 o'clock, correct? And they spent approximately an hour in...
I don't know, I had to leave. I had a doctor's appointment, okay?
Okay, what time was your doctor's appointment?
Well, I had to be there for 11:30.
And
My doctor's at 414 Victoria. I won't take a bus because
And, okay, so it's 4...
I walked there.
You walked there. And what time did you leave for your doctor's appointment?
I have sciatic nerve damage. It took me 45 minutes to walk there.
So what time did you leave the apartment?
I'd say about 10:45 to get there for 11:30.
So you leave 10:45, you were there for the duration?
For about 45 minutes I was there, but then I had to leave.
So you stated that Mr. Sereno was in the unit for about an hour and then they left, correct?
I left. I don't know if they left. Like they were in and out, getting materials and stuff like this.
But for the hour that you witnessed them and then he left prior to you leaving?
He went out, and that's I left because I had appointments.
Part of the question, Madam Chair.
Okay, we're good. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Lana, your turn.
Did she say she was a former
She is,
superintendent or
she
present?
is qualified right now.
I'm qualified. I have my certificates, everything.
Oh, I see. So
She's
it's
a
not
part-time.
currently. Okay, part-time. All right.
Hello.
Your name?
Ilana Zodoin,
Can you spell that for me?
Jodoin.
Jodoin.
Mm-hmm.
J-O.
Sorry, I didn't know the name, I do apologize.
Ilana Zodoin, Jodoin.
Can I call you Alana just?
Yes.
Your first name is?
Ilana, Ilona.
Oh. There. And you solemnly affirm that you're going to tell the truth?
Yes.
Okay.
You were present on the 26th.
Yes, I was.
Okay. On the 26th, did you witness any interaction between me, the landlord, any negative between Peter and the landlord?
Not at all.
Okay. Did you witness me taking out the screen?
Yes, I witnessed you taking out the
Okay,
screen.
she's looking at me. Meter. Just try to ask questions that are open-ended so they're not leading. So,
All right.
what, if any, did you observe?
What, if any, did you observe?
Well,
Have her fill in the blanks.
when we got there, there was me and my girlfriend Catherine, because I live with them, and there was Peter and Marie, and Sue. We're all sitting there on the Chesterfield, and John came to the door with his brother, I guess, and went into the front bedroom, just checking out the window, went into the kitchen, and then went into the bathroom window to look at the window.
Yeah.
And then they were in and out most of the time I was there. And at one point, John spoke to Peter. Peter said, "You speak to Marie," and he was kind of belligerent to Marie. So I didn't want to talk to you.
Okay. What?
I'm trying to think of how to word this. Were you present for the incident with the
I was
screen?
present for the incident with the screen. There was a screen in her window,
Screen?
and John was on the outside on the ladder, and he was trying to yank at the screen. Her screen was her screen in the window. She said, wait a minute, please." And she took the screen out, and he started yelling about something about, "You know what? If that would have closed her, my finger, I would have sued you.
You know what?
If that window would have closed on his finger."
What happened to the window? Did it slam down?
No, it didn't slam down at all.
Okay. So before Marie removed the screen, John was yanking it?
Yeah. He was going to damage it by trying to yank it out.
And Marie
Said, "Hold on, John. I'll take the screen out from from the inside of the apartment."
got to the apartment on the 26th?
Probably about 10:30, 11 o'clock, or maybe earlier.
10:30, 11?
Yeah.
Okay. And so you were there, when you got there, John was already in the unit?
He was outside. He wasn't in the building.
He was outside the building?
Yeah.
Was his brother in the unit?
No, not when we got there.
Okay. But to the best of your understanding, they had access to the unit already?
Yes.
Okay. So you didn't see that interaction, correct?
What interaction are you talking
When
about?
they came to the unit for entry, for access to the unit?
Let me see. I was there for one of them, but
Just on the 26th.
on the 26th, yeah. There was just one interaction that I witnessed, when that's when his brother came to the door.
Okay, so the initial visit, the entrance to the unit, to be established was at around 10 o'clock. You came to the unit after that. So there was other coming and going to the unit. You're saying that one of those interactions
Yeah.
you witnessed?
Yeah.
Okay. And how long did you stay at the unit?
I'll probably be there about till 3 o'clock.
And you were with Susan also, sitting on the couch, is that correct?
Yes.
And that's in the living room?
Yeah, I was in the living room, yeah.
Okay. And the window that the screen was pulled out, where was that?
In the living room.
Was it? Okay. Marie, and you said that, earlier you said that Marie told John to hold on, wait.
Yeah, hang on, you're ruining my screen.
Marie also stated earlier that she did not give any prior warning of when that screen was pulled out. What would be your response to that?
Repeat that again. I don't understand the question.
So, what I guess you may lead because you're on cross-examination, except that she didn't really hear what the evidence was. Okay, I just ask it. So there was evidence earlier given by Marie that she did not give any warning prior to removing the screen. What
Well,
did
I
you
don't know. I
say?
wasn't there for that.
Oh,
Wasn't aware that she didn't give any warning.
okay.
But I was there when he was on the ladder and trying to take the screen out from the outside, and she said, "Hang on, John, hang on. You're ruining my screen." She said, "I'll take it from on the inside."
Mm-hmm. And what did John say?
Well, he said some verbal words. I can't remember what exact words he's used. He said, "You know what? If that window would have closed on my finger, I would have sued you."
I wasn't done asking questions.
Okay. Okay. Well, go ahead.
Have you seen anything at all that would question safetiness of Mr. Serena on ladders?
Yes. About 1 o'clock or so, Marie and I went to the store to get a submarine for all of us. On the way back, I witnessed a ladder that wasn't on an angle. It was like this. So the ladder was unsafe.
Did we have anything to do with
No, we
those
didn't have nothing to do with
conditions?
him. We didn't say nothing to him at all.
Did you witness anything else that would fit in that line?
Well, he gave a couple of dirty looks when I looked up at him to see, that I didn't want any problem. The ladder falling down on us. I was more worried about us than him.
Why were you worried about the ladder falling down on us?
Oh, it would have caused damage to us. It would have hurt us because the angle of the ladder wasn't safe.
But where was the ladder?
The ladder was in front, on your bedroom window, on her bedroom window in the front.
Where was the base of the ladder?
The base of the ladder was on the porch.
How far from the edge?
Probably about, I'll say about 2 feet.
Any questions? Thank you.
You're welcome.
See, you've got your laptop.
Oh, I was making copies of the videos and recordings for,
I
Trying
see.
to get them all
I see.
done before
Okay.
the end.
I see. Okay.
you had the videos of the 15th, we want to play them now.
Pardon me?
I have those videos I was referring to earlier.
Just the
Are we-
15th.
uh,
Just the 15th.
Sorry, the 15th, 16th, And 15th and 16th, and 17th actually, but John Serena wasn't there on the 17th. Or if he was, it didn't make an appearance.
But we can't verify.
May
yet.
15th, May 16th,
And May 17th.
May 17th.
But we can't verify.
And then June 25th and July 18th,
No, June 26th, ma'am.
26th as well.
And 27th,
And-
28th.
I don't have any recordings or videos from that. I just have an audio recording from the 26th where I had a conversation with
Yeah.
Augustine
Oh,
and
yes,
John.
that's right.
And
Okay.
Those are the ones we didn't.
on the 18th.
All
we
right,
have
so
the
you
audio.
provide them to Ms. Yakney.
I can, sure, I'll give it to her right now.
We just can't verify them now.
Well, that's fine, after the fact, but Madam Chair, I believe she said to proceed, and I have an opportunity to allow it, to submit argument, to allow it on verifying the timeline. I think that's-
So what she's saying is, after today, she's going to file, if she feels that there is some need, if she wants to make submissions, comments, challenges.
I thought we were
Then
going to adjourn.
Well,
so
that's
we
what I,
had a-
that's what I thought.
we had a chance to, we put the,
That's what I thought too.
so
We
did
could
I.
adjourn.
I'd like to
Madam Chair,
adjourn,
there's
so we
two
have a
recordings.
chance.
We're not, we would allow the recording for the 26th and I believe the 18th. Mr. Bosch mentioned the two audio recording. But I think it's only fair that we be provided, he said he had his phone to show on the date that it was recorded. And he would provide that to us, or
That's-
if he could verify it to us. I think that's
It's not
only
just
fair.
his phone, that's going through my phone, and that's why we asked for the adjournment, and before we left, I thought that's what we had agreed to.
Let's do that, Ms. Yakney, so that it's all on the table.
Yes,
Like, this is the recording, this is the date, this is the,
that's what I thought we had agreed to.
Okay, so Mr. Bosch, would you be providing those
Actually-
evidence for the date, time,
when,
the recording?
Yes,
So we
we'll give you
can verify
screenshots of the
that.
phone. Is that, would
yeah,
that be
screenshots,
satisfactory?
that's the word.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
when would that be? I can do a little bit of an endorsement to require that.
I think we could also have a date for disclosure to be provided so we could have enough time to be prepared for the next hearing.
Yeah.
Which would be the 25th? You're talking about September
No,
25th?
for the
No.
recording.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
sure.
yeah, because is there any further evidence? Are you?
In the way of video and audio, not for these
Anything
dates. There's
else?
some background that I may include. Like, we have videos going back and audio recordings going back to last December. We
No,
documented
no.
pretty much all of our interactions with Mr. Serena. So some of that may apply to this. I don't know. I haven't.
No, I'd like to focus on those events that are in the N5s, right?
But
N5s.
okay, Madam Chairman, that's part of my problem. The first N5 refers to a date, May 10th, where Mr. Serena was never there.
Well,
So-
and
We're guessing
you
it's the
think that it's the
15th.
15th.
I think he's referring to
That's
the
right.
15th and
Well,
the 16th.
so that's your position, so May 15th would be relevant,
Okay.
because that is your evidence that that was actually done. So on or before, when are you, what's a reasonable timeline for you? So today is the 10th. When would you be able to provide disclosure of all evidence? So this time don't, if there's anything else, provide it so that.
How long do we need, you think?
2 weeks. 2 weeks, a week, even I can do.
2 weeks would be best.
The 20, so we are the 10th today, the 24th would be 2 weeks.
What day of the week is
Oh,
that?
that's a Thursday, I just made it a full. The tenant shall provide the landlord, I'm just going to say, a copy of all documents, photographs, and other evidence. This includes copies of audio and video recordings. And would you make me an extra copy as well?
Sure.
So that after the hearing, I can review what you want.
Madam Chair, would we be stipulating those disclosure be, with regards to the date that are being looked at?
Yeah.
So I think there was the
it's in
the
the-
10th or the 15th, and then June 26th, and
So pertaining to
July
the
18th.
events, or to the alleged events in the 2 and 5s, right?
I think Mr. Marsh mentioned he had a recording for the 26th and the 18th. Is that true?
Yes, yes to both.
And something to do with another date, I didn't get that date.
June, May 15th, June 26th, July 18th.
Okay, so May.
So it is due August 24th?
Yes. To Miss Yakni.
And one dropped off here.
Sure. Was there only one property standards owner?
There was actually both.
There was another one, but not
Not
with
within
regard to
time
that
frame?
unit. It was for other.
Okay.
One even before that.
Just
One even before that. No, it's longer.
Madam Chair, Mr. Serena said there was a previous order prior to this order. I think that might include the windows.
Yeah, the other stuff was added too on top of it.
So I could undertake to get you a copy of that.
The windows, because that's key, right? The windows? I thought this was the windows.
Madam Chair. I know you addressed the vinyl on the floor for the kitchen and the bedroom. You just addressed the screen in the kitchen and did not include the other
Yes.
windows. So
Because
those-
the windows, that's the, because he was saying you have to get in.
Yeah, there's actually three that relate to our unit, plus one that's not in our unit for property standards compliance orders.
So will that be part of what you will disclose?
Oh, yeah.
It can be if you want.
Okay, I think so. So in other words, you're not done your evidence as well?
No.
We're done with your 2 witnesses and, okay, so you have no other witnesses except both of you and your documents and video and audio recordings. So would that be sufficient? They likely have the very same orders. Is there a need for you to?
Madam Chair, based on the hearing for the T2 had commenced, the amount of material that the tenant had, I believe it would take more than 1 day. So to have those 2 hearings put together, now that you're seized with it, and Member Henry is already seized on the tenant's application.
It covers-
So what are you saying, that it be on the same day?
I don't see it,
No.
that's not feasible.
No, not feasible. Yeah, it will just have to carry on separately.
I believe, yes. Even though the issues are connected, it's separated on a different timeline.
Yeah, so we'll just schedule it
And I
separately.
could provide, Madam Chair, with a few unavailable dates that I have at this moment.
So no disclosure from the landlord's part?
Not this time now.
No.
But if we could also have that as a tentative date, if we do have any additional, that we would provide it by August 24th.
By way of reply evidence, seeing, having heard the two witnesses and having had the opportunity, or because you know that there are audio and video recordings, would you like it to be on the 24th or like a week after the 24th?
Madam Chair, a week after, if you
Yeah,
allow
so that
me,
it
so
could
that
be
I can have a
replied.
chance to review.
31st. Landlord shall provide copy of all evidence in reply, if any, to the landlords, or to the tenants. Would you take this one? Thank you. And you provide, what are you unavailable date or available?
Yeah, for September, 5th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, and 21st
Are,
unavailable.
so again, 5, 12,
13th,
14,
15th, 21st,
yes,
October 13th, 26th,
13,
Yeah.
26,
November 6th. Let me see what dates are available.
Oh, Wednesdays.
Okay.
and for yourselves.
Hold on, I'm just getting to that. September 20th, I know for sure. September 15th, we've already said.
You're not available any of those Wednesdays either, right?
Yeah, none of those Wednesdays.
So-
It's
September
typically a Thursday. But
Okay,
give me all your
September
unavailable
7th,
dates. Not
8th.
available, right? You're
Not
giving me-
available. September 8th, 7th, 8th, 20th, 15th. October 18th, 31st, and 9th.
And 9.
And every Wednesday until the end of November. I have a prior commitment then.
Well, you covered all mine too, so
Okay, then we're good.
you got 2 for the price of 1 there.
This is a copy of this.
Oh, thank you.
Do you read my writing?
Yeah. Okay.
We have a copy of our notes taken as well.
Oh, good. Would you? These are your notes. So, looks like we're back here.
Thank you.
When are we next time?
We don't know.
No, we don't know. We're gonna have to wait for scheduler to give us a date.
So we get a notice of hearing in mail?
You will get a notice.
Okay, Jean.
What's that?
Just see you next time. I have a question for you.
I'm not sure that I can.
It's just a weird one.